Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Soul is ready.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
I'm ready to dominate.
Are you ready for a war?
Ready to party.
Ready for this? Oh no, they were ready for that.
You ready?
When I'm ready to go.
Two.
I was born ready. Yes.
Calm down.
No! I said, are you ready?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm ready.
Get ready. I'm ready. I was born ready, bitch.
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
I am so ready.
Welcome to New Dimension Comics presents Ready, Set, Geek. We are here in the swirling epicenter of culture in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Century 3 Mall, where the mall walkers have slowly taken over. Send help. Hi everyone, welcome to the game. This is the pitch off, and your time starts now. Each contestant has a sealed envelope with a card in it. On that card is written an actor, an object or location, and the name of a fake film. They will have 2 minutes to use this information to come up with the best movie pitch. While they do that, let's meet our contestants. Starting us off is Anthony Cole. Anthony is a secret government agent who works shrouded in mystery in various countries that aren't allowed to fly here anymore. Revealing this information for the purposes of a game show introduction is surely putting his life in jeopardy. So he's, like an accountant or something. He also runs local Magic the Gathering events here at New Dimension Comics, along with plotting the assassination of shirtless horse-riding world leaders. Wait, no, not that. He sells propane and propane accessories. He also has a cat. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thanks, Chris.
In the center square position is Rachel Freeman. Rachel is a writer for thepopbreak.com, an entertainment website that covers everything from comics to film and television to geek culture. Basically, anything that we have to plan on ever doing here, she's already got it, so what's up? Rachel is also an active rugby player, a badass cosplayer, and knows all the moves to quit playing games with my heart. You can play it, she can do it. Thankfully, Rachel has proven herself impervious to harm, unable to be hurt or injured. She's like Bruce Willis and unbreakable. And don't look at her finger, it's just an illusion that she's using to hide the fact that she's not among mortals. Welcome to the show, Rachel.
Thank you.
Finally, we have Juice. That's right, Mr. Dan Mater himself. But anybody who calls him that is a jabroni who will wind up in the SmackDown Hotel. Juice is the beating heart and true mastermind behind Chair Shot Reality, a weekly wrestling show at WrestleZone.com. And he's definitely way better than that jobber who moved to Florida. When Juice isn't jet-setting across the country to hang out with his good friend Dave Metzler and watch 5-star matches, Juice will be found catching up on Seinfeld while secretly cosplaying as Newman and practicing all his best Kenny Banya jokes. If that reference went over your head, just know that it's gold, Juicy, it's gold! Welcome to the show, Juice.
Thanks, Chris, for the warm welcome.
And since I have my own table, my own camera, my own chair, and my own sense of entitlement, I must be their host, their judge, and the host, Chris Lemke. Contestants, that's 2 minutes. Let's play the game. Anthony, what you got on your card?
I have Jack Nicholson, a ballerina music box, and the film title Step Up, Stepping Out.
There's definitely some colon in there.
Yeah.
Rachel?
I have Julianne Moore. Location is the Statue of Liberty, and the film title is The Finest Print.
All right. And Juice, what's on your card?
I've got the actor is Macaulay Culkin. The object or location is the Pope Mobile, and the film title is The Che Guevara Story.
I like the object or location for ballerina music box, so if I want to have this all take place in a ballerina music box.
You can pitch that right now. Go.
So Jack Nicholson's daughter is going to receive the ballerina music box, which has been in their family for generations. However, it has been lost to a evil stepbrother who wants to use it as a prize for a dance competition in town. It is a couple's ballroom dancing competition in which his granddaughter is now trying to compete. But at the last second, his granddaughter's partner has to step out, and Jack Nicholson has to step in. As the very elderly partner of his granddaughter of 12 he has to compete against ballroom dancers everywhere to win back their family heirloom ballerina music box to give to his daughter. I'll give you a hint. It has a spectacular final act.
Oh, I can't wait. It sounds very sexy. Step out 6? Step up 6?
Oh, he has to step up.
Oh, step up.
In case I didn't make that
Oh, okay.
pun.
I just want to make sure. Rachel, let's hear your film.
All right, my film again, the finest print. Julianne Moore will be at the Statue of Liberty with her husband. She is an immigrant. Haven't decided from where yet, but she is an immigrant to the United States. She comes from a family of immigrants, and her husband is French. And at the statue, while they're walking around, she finds a document, and on this document is the real message that should be on the Statue of Liberty. And at the bottom of it, in the finest print, is a message that will change the meaning of the Statue of Liberty forever.
And Nicolas Cage has to steal that document. All right.
Belongs in a museum.
Juice.
All right, so as the Pope-mobile will slowly crawl through guerrilla warfare-ridden countries, I believe that young Che Guevara, played by Macaulay Culkin, of course, gets lost in the Pope's gown. and for 3 hours and 45 minutes, young Che desperately tries to find his way out of the gown, the Pope-mobile, and the Vatican to become a ruthless warmonger.
And the face of every hipster's t-shirts.
I don't know why I'm not wearing it.
I'm disappointed in you.
I'm surprised I didn't wear that for this occasion.
All right, those are 3 terrible movies. Step Up, Stepping Out, where he has to have for some reason I have like a sexy tango with his granddaughter. Directed by Nancy Myers, obviously. A world-changing document at the foot of the Statue of Liberty, and Macaulay Culkin, home alone, in the Pope-mobiles, to become a ruthless dictator. I feel like he's already on his way of doing that too. The more haggard, more haggard and everything he looks.
Yeah.
He's just a method actor.
Well, now, meth actor.
No, yeah. That's a solid point. And I don't know, I kind of like Rachel. I like your film. I think that could actually be a real film, especially with you playing up the French and everything that went with that, with the Statue of Liberty. So you get the first point.
Yeah.
So Rachel's going to have control of the board for creative control, and we'll be right back.
Warriors, come out to play. Warriors, come out to play.
What about you? You ready?
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Geek. This is creative control. The true lifeblood of being a geek is being able to yell at people on the internet anonymously and write first when you're the first person to respond to a post on ain'titcool.com. No, wait. It's not that. It's debate. It's finding an argument and then standing by it and then laying waste to those who disagree or, failing that, come to a compromise and keeping your friendship, because adulthood is hard and friendships are complicated. So in order to help me keep the peace, I'm going to reach out to my number 2. No, not that. The other thing. The guy. He makes good Earl Grey.
Is he Captain Picard?
Yeah, he's Riker. I'm Picard. Don't you
Riker
ever call him Picard.
Riker
I have
has
the
no
head.
class.
But he likes the tea.
All right, so let's bring him out. I'm talking about the master of polyester, the fact checker, homewrecker, the anointed king of the, well, actually, Mr. Bill Remengo.
Hey, Chris.
Hey. Oh, man. Please don't tear through that. I know you wanted to last week. He was going to have a Hulk Hogan entrance where he just ripped everything apart. And
Shockmaster.
yeah,
We have a wrestling guy on the show.
We
I was gonna
do.
bash you over the head with a chair.
I'm actually okay with that. I feel like that's happened anyway. All right.
Glad to be here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
That's a little too much.
Nope.
All right.
Here's how creative control is going to work. Rachel has the first point. See, we've got a board now to tell us that. So you are going to have control of the board. Fantastic. you're going to be able to pick the topic which everybody is going to be debating. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an answer, and then 60 seconds to describe your opening argument. After that, everybody will have 90 seconds to back that up and start tearing down the other people's arguments. Finally, 30 seconds to close everything out. Now, if you listen to what I was saying, it's about the argument. It's not about the answer. So articulate, have fun, enjoy yourself, but mostly win. Here are go the topics. Rachel, are you ready?
Ready.
Number 1, oh captain, my captain. Number 2, girls just want to have fun. Number 3, even more faster and more furious.
It's not a word, Chris.
It is now.
Okay.
You look at the script for Fast and Furious. Those aren't words either. You can't
Dude,
write broom
spoilers.
for 120 pages and make a damn movie. All right, Rachel, what are we going to be talking about?
Girls just want to have fun.
Girls just want to have fun. I don't know how many times I can say that before I have to start paying royalties. All right, so
You're not doing the tune, so.
I was going to sing,
what
but
are you
you told
doing?
me not to.
YouTube will pull this off so fast. It's going to make your head spin. All right, so when we start debating this, I'm going to let you know that if any of you misspeak, if you go over your time, or if you start lying like the dirty lying liars that you are,
It's a fact.
Bill will be right here with a...
Well, actually,
It's just, they use it to waterboard people now.
it's true.
Chris, I heard something before, though. It's not a lie, if you believe it.
There it is. It's actually what's in the box at the end of the movie 7. It's just Bill screaming, well, actually. All right, so...
What's in the box?
Girls just want to have fun. Rachel, you're going to be able to answer first. With an all-female cast of Ocean's 11 coming, which franchise could use all-female leads?
The Warriors.
Oh, that'd be so cool. All right, Juice.
You can't say that. They have to debate first.
Hey, everybody's is going to be cool.
I'm going to say Star Trek.
Now that's dumb.
Thanks, Chris.
I got your back, man.
Forgot on-
All right, Anthony.
X-Men.
X-Men. All right. These are all really cool choices. We're going to start off with 60 seconds for Rachel.
So, the reason that I believe the Warriors would be an amazing all-female cast is, first of all, have you seen the Warriors? Because just picture that, but it's all women. You would still have that like 80s theme and that 80s look. I already know that I want Sonequa Martin Green, aka Sasha from The Walking Dead, to play Swan. Or Brie Larson, one of those two. Mostly I want Sasha, but, you know, we'll take what we can get. And, I mean, just women being in gangs, women being, you know, you see the men in that movie, and that movie was so, like, movie changing, and then you add women to it, though, because there's that one girl in it, other than the DJ girl, and she sucks, so you put a male in that role, and it's just, I would see that 10 times over.
It's time.
That is
The
time.
Luke Cage on the Jessica Jones show effect.
Yeah.
Where he's the
All right.
he's the eye candy.
Yeah.
Juice. She just stole your lead. She stole the new female captain of Star Trek.
Well,
So let's hear it. I want to hear an all-female Star Trek.
I think it would be very interesting to have all females for any certain thing. Like Glow and Ghostbusters had great success with all these female leads, and I think it would be interesting just to not just have an all-female lead for a crew for Star Trek, but just to role reverse any male characters that just make those the female ones. So as for casting, I think a generic choice, but I'm just going to make it anyway, would be Jennifer Lawrence as Captain. I think she's done very well in all different types of acting that she's done. Horror or very Silver Linings Playbook comes to mind, and I think she'd be a very interesting captain. I don't know if she'd make any Earl Grey tea. I mean, she'd go to Starbucks first. I don't know how it would come off, but other than that,
Pumpkin spice latte, make it so.
Exactly. But yeah, I think it would be a very interesting way to take it, and maybe I think with the fact that they've done a great new series on with movies with Star Trek, I think going to do a TV series as the all-female, maybe just a Netflix-only series, would be the right choice to make.
Just make sure she wakes up accidentally instead of someone waking her up. Then it's less creepy.
Yeah.
We'll
go with that.
I'm going to actually you, Chris.
What'd I do?
You said that we're about to see the first female captain in Star Trek.
I said.
Then
I said I corrected it.
No, you
I corrected
didn't.
it. I know that Voyager happened.
Did it?
What was her name?
Did it though?
Captain Jane.
I don't know if that's right, but we'll take it. It's
I feel like
Anthony's
that's
turn
right.
now.
It's Jane.
Janeway. Yeah.
Janeway.
You were close. Did you
Close.
literally just say Jane?
I did.
Be honest.
He pulled
Okay.
it
I said Jane. No. I knew that it was Jane.
That's why I didn't say first female captain. I don't want to give.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
No, and then I
got
course
actually.
corrected.
No, you didn't.
You know what? I have
The
to
ship
edit
will
this
never
thing. I want to
fly
edit you completely
if
out.
I'm the guy and you're not.
Just edit him saying, "You're so right, Chris."
You'd have to actually get that on film first.
Well, you're going to sound like Rachel now. All right, Anthony, the X-Men. Let's go.
Okay, so with the exception of X-Men First Class, and Logan, which is not an X-Men, it's a Wolverine movie. Well, the other ones are basically Wolverine movies too, and that's kind of the point. Is these movies have not been X-Men movies. These movies have been Wolverine, and then a cast of characters behind him. This is in my opinion, of course. I think that recently the X-Men in one of the before Marvel Now, they rebooted the X-Men as in one of the lines as all female. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. You have Jean Grey, you have Ilyana, you have Magic, you have Shadowcat, Jubilee, Storm, Rogue, Psylocke, all these characters from different teams, different affiliations from back in the day that you can throw onto the screen and really just see what they could do together. And you don't need to hide behind these Wolverine characters that have been read by every little boy since they were 6 years old. Let's see what the other characters can do in the lead role, and just go from there. Honestly.
All right, I actually like all three of these, and I think all three are really viable choices. Let's get these arguments a little differently. Rachel, have you ever read Why the Last Man?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I'm totally getting that little bit of a vibe of Why the Last Man for your universe. Kind of set what your movie is going to be. We know what the Warriors is. Most people know what the people who are probably watching this know what the Warriors is. But I want to hear the world that you're establishing. Juice, how is your show going to differentiate outside of kind of gender swapping these characters? What is their mission? How is this going to differentiate from what's going on in film and what's going on with this new show? How is your Star Trek? Why is there an all-female? And then, Anthony, are you sticking in the current continuity? Are you restarting things like First Class? What sort of sandbox are you playing in X-Men wise? So this is going to be 90 seconds. Start getting your arguments a little sharper, and we can start hearing some rebuttals from the rest of these, okay? Rachel.
So to talk about the world that I would want it set in, I personally would prefer that it was, set back towards late 70s, early 80s, just because I like the feel of those movies. I like that would make it more believable. Not that those gangs in particular existed, but we don't see that kind of thing modernly, so making it modern would be kind of hard. It would definitely need to be in the city, and I think really all of the elements are there, but it would need tweaking to make it different enough that it's not, I don't want a carbon copy. But I would almost like to have it as a twist where the leader, where Swan or whatever her name would be, did actually kill the gang leader of, I forget his name and I'm sorry. But I think that would be a really cool twist. It would add a new element. I think there would be different ways to explore that time period. I just think it would add a lot to it.
Perfect. It's
All right.
almost exactly perfect time. Almost.
Almost.
Making this very difficult on me.
All right, Juice. Let's refine that argument.
All right. Like I said before, with the success of the all-female Ghostbusters and the Glow series on Netflix, I think the females are being taken more seriously in these roles, and I think the universe I would want to have is definitely, obviously, in the future of time here, with a new U.S. president that's actually female, and they're looking at they can change, the United States can change, looking back wherever they're at, whatever universe, galaxy that they're at, and they're like, well, we can do this the same way. If they could do it with all the problems the United States has, we surely can do it. And I think that you could even have like the Klingons would be majority be female, like it's just a whole new wave and change of all these females taking over, and then you could have some subplots of the guys that used to have all these jobs and they don't have them anymore, and it's like, where do we go wrong? And it's like a weird like.
So you're setting up almost a Federation matriarchy.
Yes, I like put it that way.
That was a big word.
Surprised you knew that, Chris.
Well, actually, that was 2 words.
Well, actually, if you will actually me again in the middle of his argument, he's going to get more time. Juice, please continue.
Yeah, okay. I think it would also be fun for those that watch Star Trek to get this new take on things, and more female fans would get to watch it, and they could resonate with these characters more than just the generic the bald Picard and all the ones that everybody talks about. This new one can give the females a chance to be nerdy about it.
All right, good points.
I like it.
Can we make an argument without hating on Picard?
I love Picard. I love Picard. I was mentioning it because Chris is losing his head.
Just because you have it's gone, man. It's not losing. It's gone.
I was giving you credit.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it grow out and have the Hogan skull.
All right.
The skullet.
Sharpie mustache.
Yeah. All right, Anthony. 90 seconds. X-Men.
So I definitely want this to be a different continuity because I don't want these to be compared to these other characters. I don't want you to see this new team in light of what James McAvoy's doing as Professor X, and in light of what Logan's doing when he's resurrected in the movies, just like he probably will be. I want to see just what this new team is doing. They're doing this a lot in the current comic series. They're rebooting a lot of these old characters who were all white male because that's who they wanted to send these comics to, as to be more inclusive of other races, genders, etc. And I think this is what this movie needs to be for the X-Men. I mean, there's a lot of little girls out there who probably love Wolverine and probably love Cyclops, but at the end of the day, dressing up as Psylocke, probably a lot cooler for them. And when I was a kid, I wanted to dress up and be my favorite superhero. And I think this is what this is about. It's not, the plot's going to be an X-Men movie. The plot isn't a female X-Men movie. It's just Magneto, whoever you want to fight against or be the main villain. But it's just this team for the new generation to be more inclusive in Marvel's, what used to be, they printed money in the 90s with this team. They can print money again if they expand the horizons.
Perfect.
All right. Nice job, all everybody. All right, so we're going to do 30 seconds to really shore up your final points. If there's anything you want to say.
Well, actually, I'd like to hear some teardowns of the other points.
But they're all good
give
points.
us a chance to ruin each other's days.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, 30 seconds. Are you ready?
Is it 30 seconds to do my closing, or
30 seconds to close.
Okay.
But use that time
Whether you tear
however
it
you
down,
like.
whether you
This
make
is
your
this
argument.
is how you make sure that I am swayed and
Okay.
We are swayed.
sorry, me.
That's right.
You didn't say it.
No, he didn't. I have to pay him every time, so I'm keeping it on the DL.
That's correct.
All right, 30 seconds, Rachel. Let's close it out.
So, again, one of the reasons that I'm so supportive of the Warriors being all women is the strength that would be shown. I think it's very important for women. Obviously, like 6-year-olds aren't going to be watching this movie. I mean, I watched that movie when I was like 6, but that's beside the point. So
That's why you're on the show.
yeah. But for teenagers, for young adults, this sense of like these women are strong, and it's not these women fighting other men and showing them that they're better. It's women versus women in this gritty environment where they have to keep each other safe, and there's still those elements of like of sisterhood and friendship. And again, it's not like we're women, so we have to beat this.
That's time.
We're allowed to tear down on this one.
Oh yeah,
If
you
you
can
want
tear
to.
down at any point.
I didn't want to tear down because that gives them time to rebuttal my
Because
tear
she's
down.
a strong woman who builds up.
Yeah. I don't need to fight a man to better myself.
You'd win.
Post time points. All right, Juice. 30 seconds.
My only questions about either of yours is first with the Warriors. With the Ghostbusters movie, everybody was like complaining that they were all female leads and that they wouldn't do with the original a disservice. Do you think the Warriors would have the same effect? Would the original Warriors be looked down upon now that there's girls in this one? And for yours, would it be called X-Women?
No.
Okay, that's all I was really caring about for that. As for my Star Trek, I just stick with all I said.
Okay. Anthony.
So I think
X-women.
I think these are very good ideas.
Yikes.
But the original creators of the X-Men wanted to make a team that was diverse in age, gender. They said race, but was it? But still,
There was a Canadian.
There was. So they had Jubilee. You had young girl. You had Storm. Well, there you go. But you still haven't really seen, with the exception of sometimes Storm was a team lead. I can't remember if it was gold or blue or whatnot. But you haven't really seen this, the ability of one of the women on the team to really lead, and then the rest of the characters all is just another bonus. Like we said, it's like they've been Wolverine movies. We need someone for girls to look up to.
All right.
I was going to cut him off, but he was making a good point.
You extended time on your own.
It was like 3 seconds.
It's like being overthrown.
It was like
here.
3 seconds.
See what that happened. You got post time points though.
Collusion.
And we've established you could beat me up.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. I legitimately would see all of these movies. I think that they're all like really viable answers. I
Yeah.
feel like this is a strong marketplace for each one of them.
Absolutely.
Who do you feel like kind of separated themselves?
I think the argument for the strength of women and what Rachel was talking about with, and also what Anthony talked about a little bit too, is you have throughout the history of film and media, a lot of little boys could look on screen and see people that looked like them or looked like their dads or looked like their uncles. And how many little girls can look on TV or in a movie and see there's a person that looks like me, or that's who I want to be when I grow up, or that looks like my mom or my grandma or my aunt. So I think the women empowerment thing is a really strong argument from both of them. And then conversely with the Star Trek stuff, to have like a female president and all, like you said, a matriarchy, I think that's a really strong argument there. And the fact that, again, it's something we haven't seen before. You could use Why the Last Man as an example for anything. The dystopia of the Warriors goes into that more, but really, what happens if it's just all women all the time, and how would certain characters or certain races like the Klingons react to that? So it's really interesting across the board. If I were awarding points, which I'm not, ultimately it's you, I'll admit that. If I were awarding points, I would say that Rachel has the one for me.
I love the idea of female warriors. I love the Warriors, and more than likely the intro to this video is actually going to be the come out and play a nailed that impersonation. That
was great.
Nailed it.
It was like I was watching.
I am blown away.
I know.
Probably gonna get a copyright strike.
Probably, I would imagine so. That guy is just going to ask me
The
for
tone
$5.
was perfect.
Yeah.
I do, and I feel like you had a really strong idea of what you want to have in that movie, and I do like you addressed what the world would be like and sticking to that sort of 70s vibe. Juice, I really like the matriarchy and the women taking over and them running the Federation, and I think that's an awesome idea.
It's 2017. Time to look to the future.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to wait 1,000 years in the future for a U.S. woman president. And Anthony, I completely agree. And I grew up with, when I really started getting into the X-Men comics was when Cyclops was beat out by Storm for the position.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then he went off to X Factor, and later they came back, but she was always recognized as being like a team lead. And the all-female X-Men was really strong book. So you have a lot of things that you can draw away from that. I'm nervous about starting an entirely new continuity.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
I know. That
I don't want it to be compared. Like, why do we need to know about James?
Because there's
McAvoy?
already strong female characters in there. They're just not utilized. So for you to be able to take these characters and push them to the forefront, and even having them break away, I think is an interesting concept. But starting things over again with that already muddled universe, you're going to be...
It's a terrible universe.
It's absolutely a terrible universe, but
burn it to the ground.
It's kind of the universe that you're stuck in.
But you're not if you start a new one.
I think I do, but I think as a film goer to have, I mean, they're about to do this with DC, and I think across the board everybody realizes that they're setting up.
Can we not talk about it?
Yeah, they're going to be setting up all of these alternate universes, and then they're going to fold everything together with Flashpoint. Is what it sounds like it's going to happen.
Oh, that's awful.
It's absolutely awful, and I don't want to steer X-Men in that way.
But there's no Flash in X-Men.
Time out.
Yes.
You say it's awful, and everyone here agrees. Let's not talk about it. Who's going to get a ticket and see it in theaters? Show of hands.
Not me.
Yeah, but we're also on a
Stop
geek.
it. But that's the point,
I'm
though.
gonna
These
get a
things
ticket and
make
see
money.
it in theaters, and I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
every one of these movies I
as
would go
my
see.
soul is crushed.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally breaking down the nitty gritty. I agree with you. I have to give Rachel the point. I think that's the most well thought out argument. I feel like that was the one that really stood head and shoulders. I really like that idea.
I
And
think I have a slight advantage being the only.
You're one step closer to that matriarchy. You win this show, you're gonna be
with
president.
the lead here, you really are.
Hey, what do we do if two people tie at 0?
Don't worry, we'll find out next
Yeah,
time.
we're gonna find out.
We get all females on our next show.
Right.
That's what happens.
We're going to find out next time. Rachel is still in control of this board. She's running the game.
Yes.
ThePopBreak.com is going to be thrilled with how she's doing. We'll be
Two.
right back with Creative Control Round 2.
Well, if it isn't Dale Dovick and his little butt buddy.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but I'm gonna kick you repeatedly in the balls, Gardaki.
Let's go!
Welcome back. Creative Control Part 2. Rachel is running away with this. Guys, come on. What's going on?
She's better.
Chris, I updated the scoreboard.
Thank you, Bill. You know what? Glad that those
She
numbers
has 2
and-
points, and I'm number 2.
Awesome.
You're basically the same person.
Which
now.
value meal are you getting today?
Number 2.
There it is. And what's
That's
going to happen
double.
after you eat it?
Sure.
A number 2.
There, okay.
I don't want to be associated with that number 2.
Well, you'll get a
Yeah.
third point, don't worry.
Wait.
Hey, he's the shit. What are you going to do? All right, Rachel, I'm going to give you 3 topics.
Huzzah!
And you're going to be able to pick what we debate once again. Just imagine what you did in the last round and then do it again in this one.
And win like last round.
You should just make it a challenge and do the Warriors again, regardless.
Just argue it no matter what.
There's a couple of these that you can actually do that with. All right. Here are the topics that we will be debating. A strong founder to build on. Can I see your ticket to ride? And one to grope on. What are we going to be talking about?
Terrible.
I have a game show.
Just. This one's hard. You know what? I am going to say the founding father.
All right. A strong founder to build on. The question is, which U.S. president should be given the biopic treatment, and who plays him? Everybody ready? You ready to take notes?
Yeah.
Do you have your number 2?
Wait,
pencil?
do we have to do the place him at first, or is that part of the second part?
No, it's part of the answer.
It's part of the answer?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Did you do these on purpose? Like, President, Grope?
No, because grope was which movie or TV character would you least like to go
I'm
out
not
with?
saying.
Would you be considered a
I'm
movie or
just
TV
saying.
character?
What?
What? All right, Rachel. Which president?
I am going to choose Franklin D. Roosevelt. I would like to acknowledge that I know there was that like Hyde Park something that was like a biography.
That was awful.
It was not a biography. It's like it's about this. It has nothing to
It's
do.
fine.
with
We don't have to
it.
acknowledge it.
Okay, thank you.
Are you sticking with Bill Murray to play him?
No.
Oh, God. Is that real?
I want. Yeah. It's
Oh,
real.
God.
I would like to. I will elect Kevin Spacey.
All right. Juice.
I'm gonna go with George Washington, played by Christian
Dubs.
Bale.
Christian.
I'm sorry, Craig by who?
Christian Bale.
Interesting.
Are you seeing what he looks like now? He's bulking up to play Dick Cheney. He's
Huh?
completely transformed himself again.
Well,
Are you
don't
serious?
judge
Yeah.
the game, so
Yeah, it's unreal. All right, Anthony.
I'm gonna do George W. Bush.
Another biopic on W.
Did I miss the one?
Yes.
Well, actually, Anthony, there's a movie called W.
Was it a biopic?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, then I fail already.
Played Josh Brolin.
Things are looking better for me.
Josh Brolin played.
Okay. Is there one on Bill Clinton?
No.
Okay, I'll do Bill Clinton.
Who plays Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton.
You gotta get your argument together. Simon.
Actually, there was one about Bill Clinton too, called Primary Colors.
Oh yeah, it was,
Is that a biopic pick too?
No, it
not really.
Bill
It's based on the rise of Bill
Clinton. Who's the guy who plays what's his name? The guy who plays in West Wing. He plays the first attorney. What's his name?
John Larroquette?
Yes.
From Night Court?
While you think
Oliver
about that,
Platt?
let's begin.
I can't remember the actor's name.
We'll come back to you.
That's
we'll
never
All
watched
right.
The West Wing. I'm sorry.
All right, Rachel, 60 seconds. Go.
So I chose FDR because he is one of the most influential presidents that the United States has ever had. I don't know why he has not had a biopic yet. If he has, and somebody watching this knows about it, and I missed it, I
Hollywood
apologize.
is not wheelchair accessible.
Yeah. Speaking of, the man had polio and then became a president. Like,
that's real.
That's a pretty big deal, and that would be an amazing story point in and of itself, just how he overcame that. He got us through the Depression. He got us through World War I. He is the only president to have ever been elected for 4 terms. I really like FDR, if you can't tell.
He's a big New Deal.
Yeah.
President jokes.
File that one away.
Yeah.
And I just think that it would be very informative, especially given our current situation.
Mm-hmm. Duly noted.
Juice.
Same with what you just ended with, I think. In the times that we're at right now, a biopic on George Washington, the founding father, if you will. I mean, he's on. You see him every single day if you're, working at a strip club or anywhere else that deals with cash. And
I only throw Sacagawea coins. So
okay, well,
very progressive.
That makes one of you. But again, there's not too much to describe other than he is the founding father. He set the standard for what it is to be a solid president. And not too many have done as good a job as he did, being the OG president, if you will. And I just think it would be a disservice to not have one of him done by someone that's really down for the role like Christian Bale, that I think would play it very well.
Excellent.
You have a couple more seconds.
It's fine.
Pass it on. I like it.
He had a tough time earlier, so he might need the extra second.
Yeah.
He's going to use that extra
Did you watch
second
a
to think
trailer
of the
for
actor's
Pixar?
name.
No. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Run your show like you want to. Keep calling me number 2. Whatever.
1.5.
I like it. Anthony, it's your turn.
I cannot remember the actor's name who played the attorney in The West Wing, but he would be great at it. But anyways,
Which attorney?
The White House attorney.
Which one?
The only one. There's
No,
only
there's
one.
a couple.
There's the first one.
It's either John Larroquette was the first one.
Yes.
And then Oliver
yes.
Platt was the one who got
yes,
into the
John
MS
Larroquette.
scandal.
Yes, John Larroquette.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going
Bad
Night
names.
Court. Come on.
Okay, sorry. Anyways, Bill Clinton is, we've all seen and heard what happened during his presidency. The one thing we haven't really talked about is the fact that his wife then is the first lady to really continue to then attempt to do it herself. And how a president transitions from being the president of the United States to being the number 2, like Bill. To being the one who is now campaigning, to being the one who is now behind the curtain supporting, getting all those lobbyists that we hate regardless, and all of those things though. I think it would be a very interesting take on what happens to a president once he's still involved, but is not the main guy or gal.
Okay. We can end with the tarmac with him talking to the Attorney General that caused all of those issues. Rachel, that's what happened.
I know.
I mean, it was a big deal.
Moving on.
Yeah. All right, FDR, start socializing your security here.
Speaking of,
I hate you.
These jokes, man.
thank you.
They're not good, but they're there. They are bountiful.
FDR is, he is the one who, I forget what the law is, and I apologize, but allowed union workers to organize, which was very important. He is the president who made it so presidents should be in tune with the public. They're not just the commander-in-chief. They're our caregiver, you know. They take care of us, and FDR was very into that. He wanted to be on the level of his people. And he used to, one of my favorite things about him is have the fire chats where he would literally get on the radio and just talk to you like he would his family. And again, especially given our current times, I think that would be incredibly important and just good for us to see, especially right now.
What makes FDR more interesting than these other presidents?
Just the down-to-earthness that he had, the connection that he had and wanted to have with the American people, with the community.
Very good.
Okay. You have about 20 seconds. You want to kill it?
Oh, I have 20 more
You have
seconds.
20 more seconds.
15
Oh.
now.
Do you want to
Damn it.
10.
argue against them?
Honestly, his argument was really good. To you, though, I have to say, against George Washington, which was that Alexander Hamilton was basically the president of the United States when George Washington was the president.
And he can sing and dance.
Yeah, and
I was waiting for you to throw it.
Oh man, I love that musical. I can't. That's like the number one thing that I've listened to over the past 2 years. It's not even funny. Which,
You and every other hipster.
Wow, you're a geek.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know. Look at my Che Guevara green shirt.
Yeah.
So I can hide in guerrilla
On
warfare.
that note.
Macaulay Culkin
That is a
over there.
bigger word than matriarchy.
All right, Juice. Let's hear how Washington is going to differentiate himself and really break down your cherry tree here.
I think the main focus of this whole film would be how Christian Bale plays George Washington. We've seen him as Patrick Bateman. We've seen him as Batman. Just crazy roles, and he's gotten into the shape for these roles. I'd like to see him grow out longer hair and make it gray and get wooden teeth and go above and beyond the Call of Duty to do this. Which also I think would be a really cool Call of Duty to have set in the American Revolution, just as a sidebar there. Yeah. But I think that he would do all those things and any type of I can't remember where they sail across the Virginia,
Delaware Valley Forge across the Delaware.
Yeah, he all those scenes would be in the coldest environments, and he would do as much as he could to make the movie as great as he possibly could. And actually, the photo that's used on the $1 bill, I'd like to see a scene of him getting that picture taken. I think that would be really interesting.
Well, actually, he wouldn't get a picture taken because it's 1770s.
Well, however, the image was created.
It's called paint.
But I want that. I want it shown.
Just drop that in Photoshop, and there you
go. You have about 20 seconds if you want to keep going.
Am I allowed to tear down anybody?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Who would play Monica Lewinsky in yours? If you can find out
There
who would
would-
play the original guy, would it be rated R? If that's the case.
Nah, Monica Lewinsky isn't going to be in mine.
And to accurately depict FDR, I think you need more than like one film because, as you said, 4 terms. I think you need like a series of films. So, I think that would be the only flaw for you. Otherwise, it'd be like a 5-hour movie.
And it's time.
Worth.
Okay. Let's hear you start to expand your word a little bit on Clinton.
Expand my world.
Yeah. I like your time frame. Yeah. But what is he going to be doing?
So, first of all, I just want to point out she has 2 points, and she said my argument was good. Second,
I actually gave you a point for that.
Okay, thank you. So you're gonna see the nitty gritty. So we've seen Aaron Sorkin, who will be writing this, of course, make dramas that you can't look away from. That nothing's happening but policy, but conversation, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the conversations that go on behind the scenes of a president who knows what the sit room's like, who knows what the big decisions are, being in the background. What is that like for a man to know? To like, we know Obama or any of the other ones, they step away and they live their lives, but none of them have to come back to that. They don't have to re-experience what that was like without being able to give the input. And that's what I think the main focus of this movie is going to be, is seeing the decisions being made or on the campaigns and stuff like that, obviously, and not being the primary decision maker. So what's it like for a president to no longer have that power but still be around the power? As for the other arguments, I think that It would be difficult. I really like the FDR idea. I think that there were a lot of things going on that would be difficult to talk about without overshadowing. Like if you talk about the 40s and don't mention World War II a lot, it would be noticeably absent.
That's time.
Okay.
Okay.
Wood teeth.
I don't know, for some reason I'm good with that. Dear Craigslist. Okay, here's how I want to have this final 30 seconds. Rachel, they kind of hit you on, you do have this incredible life story of him getting to the presidency, and then you've got 4 terms where he completely revolutionized how America was working at that time. Because, I mean, you were coming out of the Depression and everything else. What is your movie? Okay? Like with Lincoln, they were able to settle on what the Emancipation Proclamation was, on even primary colors, which was Bill Clinton adjacent. It was him running for office and the scandals that followed him. What specifically is going to be your movie? Juice, and it's the same question for you. Are you focusing on Washington as the leader of the armed forces in the American Revolutionary War? Are you talking about him establishing what the actual government is and his actual presidential run? Or are you started talking about Valley Forge and the Delaware, which was all pre-stuff. So I want to know, where are we really looking at, or are we seeing like the whole scope of it? And Anthony, I think this is such a cool idea, especially with him. He went to North Korea and he was able to help out over there and get hostages back. He was still very, very active with that in the Clinton Foundation. But how...
There are a lot of active things in the Clinton Foundation. That's why it's no longer a foundation. But moving on.
Yeah. How is your film not going to undercut Hillary Clinton's accomplishments?
Okay.
So how is that not going to detract from what she was doing by taking away sort of her own authority and her own story? All right. So Rachel, 30 seconds.
For part of my argument, emails. And I drew a little picture of Strong Bad shouting emails.
Plus 10.
Emails.
Anthony minus 5 defense.
Checking the emails.
But for the world, I think I would specifically want to focus on his handling of World War I, because he did have to go from keeping us out and then to when Pearl Harbor happened, he had to go in.
You need to actually that.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
Well, actually, Anthony, the argument was good enough that it didn't need to be well, actually. And time was up anyway.
You said that.
But yeah, you said World War I.
Sorry.
You meant World War II.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
We know that you meant that.
Yeah.
All right, Juice, take me through
He was president for a long time.
He was president for a long time.
Washington, let's hear about it.
I just have Strong Bad in my head.
So again, I think the versatility of Christian Bale playing would be a big deal. I think I'm going to say that it could, like I critiqued yours, meaning they could have multiple movies, but I think the one I want to do is a pre-presidency of George Washington. Directed by Michael Bay. So anytime there's explosions from guns or anything, it's just insane.
Those musket blasts.
Yeah, so Valley Forge will just be, everything will just be on fire. So I want that. And I think the time frame that it'll be in, it's very hard to emulate that, the dialect. The one movie, The Witch, that came out last year in the 1600s is when it was set. And all the actors were perfect in how they were speaking, and I think it's very difficult to do. So to see it in this context would be very interesting.
Did the Transformers also defeat the British? Like they do something
well, the
similar?
Transformers apparently
don't they kill Hitler? Yeah, they killed Hitler now.
And
I thought it was Captain.
They founded the Knights of the Round Table.
I thought it was Captain America.
Everything's out the damn window at this point.
Will your movie include the Professor Brothers George Washington song as the theme?
Consider that.
That's excellent.
My children, but not the British children.
The soundtrack of my movie will be completely done by the presidents of the United States of America.
No.
It won't. But.
That was good. I like that.
All right, well, stop sitting there like a lump and let's hear your 30 seconds.
So I think your question on how it's going to not undercut those, I think the whole point is to show those accomplishments and how he was not the main pusher of all of the policy / campaigning that was done. I think the whole point is a contrast. So maybe a good way to take it would be you could have one of those films that cuts to not full flashbacks, but shows situations where he was in charge, and then shows that same situation, 16 years later, where he's in that exact same situation where he cannot make the decision and he has to watch someone else do it.
It's time.
Okay.
Hillary do it. Sure.
All right, Bill. 3 presidents walked into a bar. Who's walking out?
I think it's really tight between Washington and FDR because it's 2 of the most dynamic American presidents where there's so much story to tell. And in multiple movies, they've kind of been side characters almost. HBO did the John Adams series, and they had the Washington character, but he wasn't obviously the main crux of it. And same thing with FDR. We've seen representations of FDR in various World War II movies. In Michael Bay's movie, where John Voight stands up. One of the most heroic scenes ever filmed, right?
Then there's an entire another hour to that movie.
But to see them have their own films, I think would be really interesting. And I like the idea of Bill Clinton watching Hillary be the Secretary of State while he's kind of not doing anything. He's just a former president. So as far as the ideas go, they're really solid ideas. I think the best argument, though, came from Juice with Washington the pre-years. It's often talked about with, like, Batman, the in-between years, what happened before he went to the League of Shadows, after he watched his parents get murdered, what happened in the teen years. And then you see that with Washington.
Dude, spoilers.
Oh, well, but with Washington, you
haven't seen that origin
see a
yet.
thing before he kind of was promoted to head general of the Revolutionary Army, I think would be really interesting. So I think for me, that's the best argument now.
Yeah, I'm torn because we've got 3 very, very different pictures. FDR would be a very traditional biopic to the point at some point I think his brother dies and he becomes a heroin addict. So, which works, and you've got Kevin Spacey who can carry something like that. And it's a great story.
Yeah.
And which really hasn't been told. And I think the policy discussions and everything else would be really, really interesting. And just the fight that he had to have, and considering it's the fight we still have now based on the things that he did.
Right.
I don't know if any time period, president-wise, is hotter right now than that Revolutionary War with Hamilton and everybody really being invested in that. But I feel like you left a lot of points on the table there. And I would have liked to have heard, how this, the marketability of this, how there is this huge push for things of that nature. And, we keep hearing founding fathers. Let's get an accurate depiction of what was really happening and how flawed these people were, which is what is so great about Hamilton. Even with the Washington character, who was, iconic and reverential. Dude, it's so, but I mean,
it always comes back to a musical, right?
But it's
all right.
This is how I pay the rent.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
Basically.
That was funny because Rent is a musical.
Boom. And Anthony has cats.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still a little worried about how your picture wouldn't diminish Hillary.
Yeah.
And how it wouldn't undercut. I see it as like a really small character study of just a man transitioning out of power.
Yep.
And there was an awful president comedy about that with Jack Lemmon, I think. And I always remember that for like one scene in particular. But and I think that's an interesting way to look at it. But it's almost because, like, if it was any other president, I think that's a really, really cool idea. Or even, Nixon after being out, thrown out. Anybody but Ford, would that be interesting? But with Clinton, I think that because his wife became such a thing, that it would feel like you're undercutting what she said. And I wish I heard a little bit more than, well, now other people are dealing with it, especially with her as Secretary of State and Obama having to deal with these things, and he's just sort of having to sit.
But how does it undercut Hillary, though? It's about him and his reaction to it. But it doesn't undercut.
Right, but advice that he gives and leadership that he gives and things like that he gives, is that going to pull away focus from her own reactions and from her own
maybe?
And that would be one of my chief concerns, is that we're saying, hey, there's one of my commander-in-chief concerns. Well played. I like all of these movies. Like I said, they're all really, really different, and I feel like the most marketable is Juice's. You lose me when you said Michael Bay. I don't know where the hell that came from.
I got a reaction out of you. So
that hurt me in my soul.
But the Transformers defeated the British.
And
everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that.
Knows that, Chris.
The Allspark hit them in the face. It literally hit King George in the face.
On that note,
I'm giving the point to Rachel. She's going.
Damn!
It
was the emails drawing.
It was the
strong bad did help you.
Yeah.
I feel like you have the most idea of what your movie is going to be. I feel like you have what a traditional biopic would end up being. Unfortunately, that leaves us in a two-way tie for second place to figure out who's going to go to the boss battle with the Dominator.
We're gonna rock paper scissors.
Oh no, we're gonna have a quick round, and we're gonna do that when we come right back to the Rachel Presents Ready Set Geek.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Welcome back to Ready Set Geek. We are in the tiebreaker, which I called the quickening last week. Did you see that?
That's cute.
The quickening. Clever. So Rachel has absolutely been dominating. She's up 3-0 on the boys.
She's not at the table, Chris.
She's not even at the table. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you're dead to me. Get up. You're done. You're out. You don't have any points either. No! Rachel, have a seat.
You know why? Because he needs a number 3.
I need a number 3 pencil. I can't put it on a Scantron, but I can have it help me judge. So, guys, what we're going to do is a really quick round. I'm going to have you give an answer, 60 seconds. That's it. Bill is going to be recording the time off screen. Thank you, Bill. All right.
You're welcome, Chris.
Appreciate it. Juice, I thought you had the second best point in the last round, so I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, pressure's on.
Okay, real quick. What's the best movie so far of 2017?
I'm going to have to say Get Out.
Anthony?
Wonder Woman.
Get Out versus Wonder Woman. I feel empowered. How about you, Rachel?
Yeah.
All right. Juice, 60 seconds.
All right. In this crazy year we've had with racism being at the forefront of a lot of things, I think Get Out was a fresh take on an old thing, which was racism throughout history. And the fact that Jordan Peele from Key and Peele, like the funniest show like ever, did this movie where it was so serious and it was something you never would think you'd see from him. When I left that movie, I felt like empowered that I saw something like good happen with the character that you normally wouldn't see happen. Like the guy that worked at the airport ended up helping in the end. Like spoiler alert, sorry if no one's ever seen that movie yet.
Spoilers!
But in general, I thought it was just a great take on the racism and how it's perceived in an opposite way, where like all these white people are doing this injustice to these black people, and then no one really knows about it, and they're just hush hush, and all of a sudden it gets revealed and all hell breaks loose. And I thought it was a great picture, and for a horror psychological thriller from a guy who normally does comedy, it's been critically acclaimed, and I don't see any signs of that franchise stopping to more.
Okay, Anthony, Wonder Woman.
Well, I think that also in this day and age, for the first movie to really have a female lead role, it really came out of the gate as showing that, first of all, that movie can do well and not fail like every old nerd said it would, I'm sure, in a comic book store somewhere, and show that that's something that we need. We need these characters to be at the forefront. We need them in the lead roles, and we need to see what we need someone, like I said with the X-Men earlier, that the girls can look up to on screen too. So at this point, I mean, the ending, it was okay, but what I really think is it was a step forward for geek culture and a step forward for what we can expect to see in the future amid DC doing all of these terrible movies. That's not an opinion, that's a fact, sorry. Hashtag fact. And at this point, I think that that's what we needed from the franchises.
Time!
Fake news.
All right, Rachel, what did you think?
I thought both arguments were really good. I do have to say too, to Anthony, I was one of those old white people in a comic book store that thought Wonder Woman was going to be terrible. So thanks for that. And it, it was like as a woman going into that movie, and I thought it was going to be like a terrible representation, but I liked the message that movie had, especially for young women. And with Juice's argument, I mean, it's like he said, like it's all of that movie is just so relevant right now, and I was blown away that Jordan Peele was like in that movie, and I remember when I first saw that, I was like, wait, what? How is that gonna be good? And just like that alone gives that movie so much. And yeah,
I agree. And what's nice is that you guys picked movies that are both incredibly culturally relevant, and your movies that emboldened the disenfranchised. The question, however, is what is the best movie of 2017 so far? And Anthony, all I heard from yours was the impact of your movie. The only thing you said about the physical movie was that the third act was kind of meh. Juice, I actually heard about what your movie was, so I'm going to give you the point, and you're going to be heading into the boss battle.
Cool.
All right, we're going to be coming right back. Rachel's got the fighting gloves on. Be scared. Don't hurt the finger.
Oh, you've got to fight, all right.
Wrong move, baby.
Welcome back. We're here with the boss battle. We've got Rachel. We've got Juice. They're here to shake things out, but we have some unfinished business because we were a little crunched for time. We shoot them off a little too fast. Bill, bring them back out here. No, come on now. You may not have gotten any points, but you have all of them in my heart. Please tell the people where they can find you, Anthony.
But those points are worthless.
No, there were 69 points. Now,
okay. I guess I'm on Twitter like last year at some point. I think I logged on New Dimension Comics Century 3. I run Magic. It's a lot of fun. Come play cards and that. And, basically donate to Harvey, donate to Irma. They need your help. Their life sucks now. So do that. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Anthony. We love you a bit. All right, let's bring these guys back out. Rachel, you crushed this game so far, and so you're going to be able to pick. Do you want to go first in the boss battle, or would you like to go second?
I would actually like to go second.
Second. All right. Bill, get her out of here. She's done. She's done.
This way. No, walk this way.
We're getting... Now we're just doing young Frankenstein bits off camera. Okay, Juice, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. We have polled 50 people. It is going to be your job to match up those answers. Huh?
You Richard Dawson?
Oh, I am so Richard Dawson.
Just don't
give me a
kiss
kiss.
me. Don't
Give me a
kiss
kiss. All right. Are you ready?
Ready as I'm going to be.
Just like the Dawson, the time starts when I stop speaking. Who's the best Disney villain?
Cruella de Vil.
Besides Joker, who is Batman's best rogue?
Two-Face.
What is your favorite board game?
Monopoly.
What is the best month for movie releases?
December.
Who is the best dancer in film?
Channing Tatum.
What is the worst movie theme song?
Pass.
Who is the second best James Bond?
Pierce Brosnan.
What is the best decade for Saturday Night Live?
1980s.
What is the best current late night host?
Jimmy Fallon.
Who is the most famous puppet?
Kermit the Frog.
What is the worst movie theme song?
a tough time with it.
My watch is broken.
I don't know.
8 seconds.
8 seconds. Worst movie theme song.
Worst movie theme song.
I can't think of one.
Time.
I'm gonna choke.
Oh, he tapped out before we could get the last one. All right, we got 9 solid answers.
He ran out of time.
He
Chris.
did run out of time. Bill,
Yeah.
let's get him out. Let's bring Rachel back.
Okay.
All right. Let's go get Rachel. Let's get Rachel.
She's indisposed. So we should cut here.
Just let it roll.
Is this what you're supposed to do? Stop it!
I don't know what to do with my hands. Where do I put my hands?
I saw it this past weekend. Fantastic.
Oh, I really liked it. It was very good.
It was good.
It was king of the box office this week too.
It was, yeah. I went on a Saturday morning and it was packed.
Yeah.
At like 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So pretty good stuff.
Yeah, we saw it Friday and it was sold out. And Robinson, like every show, was.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Thanks, man. When people ask how much I pay him, it's a Pennywise.
That was an it joke.
That was an it joke.
I brought Rachel.
Oh, thanks. You
You're
keep
welcome.
clowning around back there.
That was an it joke too.
There we go. Rachel, why don't you step right over here? Now, Juice was just able to answer his questions. There are 10 of them. It is 60 seconds long, and it is your job to match it. Those answers to our polled answers. Okay?
Okay.
So the time is going to start when I stop speaking. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. You can have you step a little closer to me. I promise I only bite a little bit. Who's the best Disney villain?
Dr. Fassler.
Besides Joker, who is Batman's best rogue?
Two-Face.
What is your favorite board game?
Dead of Winter.
What is the best month for movie releases?
June.
Who is the best dancer in film?
Dancer? I don't know any dancers.
Pass if you want
Pass.
to. What is the worst movie theme song?
Pass.
What is who is the second best James Bond?
Pierce. No. Daniel Craig.
There we go. What is the best decade for Saturday Night Live?
90s.
What is the best current late night host?
Jimmy Fallon.
Who is the most famous puppet?
Elmo.
Who is the best dancer in film?
Jessica Alba.
5 seconds.
What is the worst movie theme song?
Transformers.
There we go. In under the clock. That's going to hold off. We're going to tabulate our answers, and we'll be right back with the winner of Ready, Set, Geek. We're back. We've tabulated everything. We've got the answers to the boss battle. Let's break it down real quick and find out what the most popular answers were. We said best Disney villain. Rachel, you said
Dr. Fassler.
Princess and the Frog, underrated.
I said Cruella de Vil.
All right, number one answer was Maleficent. Best Batman rogue not named Joker.
Two-Face.
Two-Face.
Oh, like-minded, but the Penguin was number one. The Penguin. Favorite board game was
Dead of Winter.
No idea what that is.
I said Monopoly.
There we go. That was the number one answer. Best month for movie releases.
June.
December.
December is the number one answer.
Pick summer.
Best dancer in film.
Jessica Alba.
That's got pure honey on it.
Channing Tatum.
Yikes. I question lots of things about you, but the answer was Patrick Swayze. Shame on you for Fred Astaire getting one vote. Hurts my heart. Worst theme song was
Transformers.
And
I had none.
Titanic, My Heart Will Go On and On and On. Second best James Bond.
Daniel Craig.
Pierce Brosnan.
Daniel Craig, number one answer. Best decade of Saturday Night Live.
90s.
80s.
90s, the number one answer. Best current late night host.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
And Jimmy Fallon takes the cake. Most famous puppet.
Elmo.
Kermit.
And Kermit takes the cake. So we've tabulated all of these things. Bill is going to come back. Ooh, that was a good one. Getting David Letterman good with these things. Bill, bring me the answer.
I came in from this way instead of
I know, man. And you sealed the envelope again, so I can't reuse it.
That's right, Chris.
That is wonderful. We're going to have an anthrax scare in Century 3 Mall. I don't know if I'm allowed to actually say that right.
It's already dead.
It's okay. It's just cocaine. All right. The winner of the second ever Ready, Set, Geek is Juice with the come from behind victory. Shocking. Rachel, you dominated everything, but speed round kills. Speed round kills. Juice, you have made the Ready, Set, Geek honor roll. Rachel, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at RachelKinesis, also on Instagram. You can also find me, I'm a writer on thepopbreak.com. It's just under Rachel Freeman.
Well played. You killed those arguments. You destroyed the guys. I can't wait to have you back. But, unfortunately...
Not quick enough.
Juicy Juice!
I don't know how I did it.
I don't know how you did it either, man.
I don't know if I deserved it or not.
You get to this point, all bets are off.
Anything
it's a
can
clean
happen.
slate. Anything can happen. It's a money in the bank moment. Here he is. Juice, tell everybody where he can find you.
Well, I'm on Chairshot Reality. It's a video podcast. We talk about pro wrestling, WWE, everything like that. It's on WrestleZone.com, and you can find it on YouTube. And my Twitter handle is @JuicySteen.
All right, that's going to be the end of this episode of Ready, Set, Geek. We will be back next week, same time, same place. Come and join us. Like, share, and subscribe to videos. He's holding it high. He's holding it proud. There's invisible confetti. You can't see it.
I'm sorry about my broken finger.
Oh, man.
That's
We
okay.
end the show on profanity.
It's all right.
Good night, everybody.
Shut up and sit down.